Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Weekly NFL Picks with your boy B Buck. My man Tom Maria Sports joining us shortly. We are entering Week 6 already, guys, of the 2025 NFL season. Man, how quick time is flying, but how good we have been doing so far. Mr. Ria, how you doing, brother?
What's going on, Big Buck?
Yo, real quick, can you see it? I had to do it. I'm probably going to jinx him.
Oh, I can see it. Man. What a game. What a win. What a feeling.
Niners, baby, Niners. 4-1, I believe. Rolling strong. I hope
Dude,
they...
You called that one to a T. Super impressive. I honestly wasn't super confident it was going to go that way, but credit to you, man. That was an awesome game and an awesome win.
Dead ass, bro. Yeah, I hope they keep rolling. I hope they somehow make the playoffs this year and go far. But guys, like I said, we are back for weekly picks. NFL Week 6 already here, guys. Guys, just to let you know, there's only 2 teams on a bye this week, so we are doing 15 games total. And we're gonna start them in about 2 seconds. Quick recap of last week. NFL Week 5 did pretty good. I picked a couple upsets that actually ended up coming through. Did 2 or 3 on the confident picks, but only 27 of 42 total, guys. I want to hit that 30 threshold. It's so close, but nevertheless, very solid week. Mr. Tom still did pretty good. You know, obviously those upsets threw a few people for a loop. 17 of 42, but nevertheless, 6-14 on the money line. Not too bad. 5-14 on the over-under. I only went 7-14, so had some weird scoring games as well. But guys, this week we are back and we're going to pick some darn winners for you, all right?
Let's do it. Listen, you're very kind. I got my shit kicked in last week. I can wear it. I can take it. It happens. But I'm excited for this week. I'm excited to rebound. And you want to kick off the Thursday night game, or you want me to start?
All right, guys, let's do it. You know I'm going to let you start, brother, man, because this is your team. NFL Week 6 picks, guys, starts with the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants Thursday night. What do you think, Tom?
Man, the question is, can New York sports get more depressing right now? And the answer might be yes, depending on how this game goes. Yankees get eliminated tonight.
Oh, no.
We're talking obviously on Wednesday night here. Mets missed the playoffs. Jets and Giants had rough weekends last week, and now the Giants got a short week against the defending champions at home. Man, this game can go in a lot of different directions. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I feel confident, because I definitely don't. But I do think the Giants will keep this somewhat competitive. Philly hasn't been super impressive this year. They obviously lost their first time last week. They're still a super talented team, and they have our number and have for a long time. So I fully expect the Eagles to win this game, but I am going to take the Giants +7. I think they'll stay in it and they'll fight, but they'll ultimately end up losing by around a touchdown. I wouldn't be surprised if we can get a push here. Hopefully, for the sake of our fan base, this game is somewhat close. Maybe I'm a little bit biased in this pick, but I'm going to take the Giants +7. I'm going to take the under 40.5 here. I think this one's going to be relatively low scoring, and defense should play a little bit better. And then I'm going to go with the Eagles money line. What are you feeling?
You know what, man? It's so funny that you say that, because right off the rip here, guys, I don't know why. Maybe it's just because it's Thursday, primetime game, and you never know which Giants are going to show up. And I know the Eagles are coming off an L, but I'm actually going to give the Giants the +7. I do think this is a game where sometimes they keep it close. If you watch our videos weekly from last year and this year, you know that we reiterate that division rivals play each other very close. They game plan to play each other twice a year. I think the Giants can possibly cover the 7. Dude, I was curious what you were thinking about the over-under, because when I see this game playing out in my head, I was joking last week and the week before how the Thursday night games have been high scoring. I could see this game being like a defensive battle, to tell you the truth. And 40.5 is not that high, so maybe they're seeing what we're seeing. I'm going to go with my gut here and for whatever reason say under. But guys, this is not one of the most confident games for me to pick, because I feel like this can go either way. We're going to find out tomorrow. But I do think the Eagles can beat the Giants, even on the road. So I'm going to say the Eagles get right this week. At least that's my take. Moving on into the Sunday slate of games. Another week, another international game. Whoa, man, this is crazy. Denver Broncos and the New York Jets playing in, I'm assuming, London, because I think the last game's in Spain. And that is going to be it for the international game.
It's in London. It's in London at Tottenham Stadium.
It's in London. Man, they should just have open roof stadiums and let it rain every time they go over there and play. At least that's what I heard. As far as the Broncos Jets guys, man, Jets kind of show some potential on offense, but their defense does not look good this year. And against this rolling Broncos offense, I think it's going to be a tough task. I do think the Broncos beat the Jets overseas this week. I think this game goes over 43.5, even with the Broncos' stout defense, because Justin Fields only needs a half to put up like 15, 20 points. It's honestly pretty crazy. Shows the talent that the Jets have on offense. And this is another game where I really do want to say the Jets cover the 7.5, and even that half point's a little tempting and scary to me. But guess what, guys? I think the Broncos beat the Jets by more than 7.5. What do you think, Tom?
I'm with you on all three. I do think the Jets are going to squeak out a win soon, just the way the NFL works, right? Like, they're going to get one random game that they're not supposed to win, but I feel like in London, this is a weird game, that they're technically home, but they're obviously not home. Broncos coming off the biggest win of their season, biggest win they've had maybe in a couple of years, arguably, going in and beating Philly the way they did in a tightly contested game. So I'm going to take Denver minus 7.5. I'm going to take the over 43.5. The Jets are the king of garbage time points as well. So if it does get out of hand, Fields will go down and score a couple touchdowns, and that'll hopefully help us cover it. But yeah, I'm taking Broncos. I'm taking the over 43.5. We're much aligned for this game.
And the Broncos to win.
Yeah, Broncos to win. I look at the Jets, and they just are a sloppy mess of a team right now. Penalties and fumbles, and they're the first team since I think the 1930s that have 0 turnovers through 5 games. They haven't gotten a single turnover on defense, not even just like a mistake fumble on a kickoff, nothing. So pretty crazy to think about how bad they are right now, even worse than the Giants.
That's crazy, man. All right, guys, moving into the 1 p.m. slate, we have the Arizona Cardinals, who could have won last week and kind of beat themselves against the Indianapolis Colts that honestly could have beat who their opponents last week. Who was that? The Raiders. They could have beat them blindfolded.
Let me take this one because we need to talk about that Cardinals game for a second, and I want to make sure that gets highlighted because talk about a team beating themselves. That was crazy. Between just the interception and then the fumble on the interception that turns into a Titans touchdown. I mean, you can go on and on with just the way that game panned out for the Cardinals. The fumble by G. Mercado going into the end zone, that would have basically...
Did you think that was a touchdown?
What was that?
Did you think that was a touchdown?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think he let go of it too soon. Either way, just... Like, how does that even happen? We see this happen all the time. For some reason, I just don't get it. Yeah, and then the Colts go out and beat the living dog crap out of the Raiders, and now they're home again. I'm going to take the Colts minus 7 here. I think they're rolling. Their defense looks great. Their offense looks great. They just are they look like a powerhouse right now. And I think the Cardinals, that's a rough loss. I do think it'll be close in the first half. Don't be surprised if the Cardinals have an early lead. I just think the Colts will pull away, especially if it's like a tight game. I expect the Colts to kind of jump on them in the second half and just win comfortably. So I'm taking the Colts minus 7. I'm taking the over 46.5, and then obviously the Colts money line.
Dude, as hard as you're being on yourself, let's not forget, go back and watch the video, and I believe it was last week because that's when they versed the Titans, right? You literally called it. You said when we were picking the Titans-Cardinals game last week, you said, you were like, if there was ever a time for the Titans to get a win, I remember you saying that last week. Like, I know we ended up picking the Cardinals, but you said, you were like, Titans, your chances to win a game this year are going to be few and far between. You did bring that up. And, hey, what do you know? That was one of the games they won. Miraculously, though.
Yeah, didn't expect that.
As far as my take on the Arizona Cardinals at Indianapolis Colts at 1 p.m. this weekend, guys, man, I think the Colts can beat them easily. Colts have looked pretty for real so far. Jonathan Taylor and Warren, that's going to be a tough combo to defend. And then as far as the point spread, something's saying give the Cardinals the +7. And like Tom said, I can even see the Cardinals being up at some point in this game. I'm going to give the Cardinals the 7 just as kind of like a cop-out for this game. But I really do like this over for some reason. I think the Cardinals can very easily put up 21 to 23 points. And obviously the Colts can put up 25 to 30 points against any team. Moving on, Dallas Cowboys, Carolina Panthers in Carolina. This game is tricky, man. This game is tricky because you never know which one of these teams is going to show up either week. What do I think's going to happen, and what is my heart telling me? What I think is going to happen is we're going to get a high scoring over 49.5, though. I don't know. It's a little crazy, but I do think we're going to get a high scoring game where the Cowboys etch out a win. With that said, that Cowboys defense and secondary is one of the worst in the entire league. And the Panthers just shredded up the Dolphins defense, who, dare we say, is better than the Cowboys defense. So I'm going to give the you're loving this hate to both of these teams. We got +3 for the Panthers. I'm going to give them. Tom, can you hear me, brother?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. All right, and then I'm going to give the Panthers the +3 at home. I like that they're at home against, Cowboys are still without CD, so there's a chance. And then, Rico Dowdle, they got to give him a few more touches this week. He was running wild. I like the Panthers getting +3 at home. I'm going to say Panthers win this one just because I feel like Cowboys are going to be one of those teams this year where it's like win one, lose one against teams that they shouldn't even, win or lose against. So I think the Panthers beat the Cowboys this week. 49.5. Man, I could see this game ending like 45 to the 48 range. 49.5 is just a tad bit high for me. I'm going to say under because, guys, the Panthers have put up 30 a few times this year, but out of 6 weeks, they've only done that like twice. So I'm going to say under. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, this is an interesting one, like you said, and you make a good point with the Cowboys. I'm not surprised you picked the Panthers. That's been your team this year. Other than the week against the Falcons, the one time I picked them and they won, which was pretty funny. But you had them last week versus Miami. And
Finally.
Getting it done. This is tough. First off, I'm taking the Cowboys -3. I'm confident in that. I think the Cowboys will win this game. So I like them -3, and I like the money line. The over-under I'm struggling with because I know the Cowboys are going to score points. But like you just said with the Panthers, they are very up and down where they can put up 30 or they can put up 10, right? And like I know a lot of teams are like that, but they're, I think, more so than any. I'm going to take this over. Be careful with it, those betting, but I am going to take the over 49.5. I think this one will be high scoring, and I'm just going to go with my gut here. So I like the Cowboys -3 in money line, and I like this over 49.5, just considering that both these teams don't have great defenses and should be able to put up points.
Dude, I'm going to say, if it's okay with you, you take this Browns-Steelers to start off because I feel like you might have watched a little more of both these teams than I have so far this year. Fan of both teams, but is that okay?
Yeah, I got you. Steelers are a weird team, right? They're coming off a bye, 3-1, and now they're playing a rookie quarterback at home. They've gotten fortunate in some games. I mean, the Jets game was really close week 1. The Patriots game was close. Even the Vikings game ended up being close, right? So Steelers are an interesting team to me, but I do think they're just better overall. Coming off the bye, I have a hard time imagining they're going to lose to a rookie quarterback. So I'm taking Steelers -5.5. This 37.5 number is ugly to me. I'm going to go over on that. I think we're going to get somewhere around like a 28-14 type of win. I know the Browns defense is pretty good. They did just trade Newsom like hours ago. I don't know if you saw that. One of their better cornerbacks to the Jaguars. For another decent player, I think it was Tyson Campbell or something like that. I forgot exactly who it was. I don't know much about him, so apologies there. But I do know Newsom's pretty solid. And they just got rid of him. They obviously traded Flacco. So interesting stuff happening in Cleveland. But all that being said, I like the Steelers -5.5. Like that over 37.5. Steelers defense hasn't been that great all year. So I do think Browns can get a couple points, and I expect the Steelers offense to score a little bit. And then obviously I'm going to take Pittsburgh money line.
Man, I think we're the exact same way. The only thing that scares me about this is the over-under because obviously the odds makers are looking at this the way Tom was saying a few weeks ago. Two pretty good defenses here. Browns defense, nothing to sleep on either, guys. They're definitely no slouches. Steelers defense has the pieces. They just haven't lived up to their potential so far this year.
Right.
But the Browns kind of kept the Vikings game close, and the Steelers can put up points. So I do like this over 37.5, even if it ends at 40. That's all you really need. And the Steelers should beat the Browns, guys, even if it's just by 3. So, Brandon, are you going to give the Browns the +5.5? I don't know. Steelers at home this week against a division rival, I think they can beat them by more than 5.5. That game's a little weird to me, though. All right, guys, moving on, we have L.A. Rams at the Baltimore Ravens. And, guys, when I look at this line, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Rams -14, -11. I think the Rams are going to beat the brakes off the Ravens this week. I'm going to take the Rams to win. I'm going to take them winning by at least 10 points. Yeah, there you go. Even crazier than minus 7.5. And then as far as over under 44.5, I think the Ravens can put up maybe 10, 12, 15 points. And that'll be enough for, the Rams to put up like 20 to 30. So I'm going to take the over 44.5 points here, guys. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I'm going to ride with you on all three. What happened with the Ravens last week, now both of us, I believe, picked the Texans knowing Lamar was out, but that performance in Baltimore was as bad as it gets. Losing that game, that was at 40-10 or something despicable, I don't even remember, but wasn't close. Frankly, even when Lamar was healthy in the Chiefs game, that game wasn't very close. Baltimore, something bad is happening right now, and it's more than just injuries. It's like the season from hell for them. So I think it continues. It's a tough slate of the schedule right now, playing the Rams, a team that's got extra rest after losing on Thursday night to your team, the Niners. They're obviously hungry for a win here. I think they get it done, and they get it done semi-comfortably if Cooper Rush ends up playing. The over-under is tough here. I'm going to take the over. I'm a little reluctant to do so, but I am going to take it. And then obviously I'm going to take the Rams money line.
And then Rams minus 7.5.
Yep, you got it.
Okay. All right, guys. Fun one here. LA Chargers against Miami Dolphins. Two teams across the country meeting up to play in Miami on the southern East Coast. Guys, the Chargers' offensive line is beat up, and you can kind of tell because the Chargers haven't put up too many points in recent weeks, and I think they have lost 2 straight now. Dolphins, on the other hand, they played a pretty high-scoring game against the Panthers, pretty tightly contested game against the Panthers, and they looked good against the Jets, good against the Panthers last week. Now they have a chance to take on, another pretty good team that's beatable in the Chargers. That said, guys, I'm actually going to give the Dolphins the plus 4.5 at home. No rhyme or reason to it, I just haven't really liked the way the Chargers have looked in recent weeks. As far as over under 44.5, I think you can go over. I think the Dolphins are starting to click a little bit on offense 2 weeks in a row, where I believe they put up at least over 20 points. And then, Dolphins to upset the Chargers at home. Chargers should win this game, guys. Chargers should win this game. But losing 3 in a row would be really bad for them. I don't know. Something's telling me Dolphins in this one. I don't feel too confident about it, but I'm going to circle the Dolphins to win. What do you think?
I love it, man. Go with your heart. I love it. Listen, I looked at it because, obviously I live close to the Dolphins Stadium. Tickets are pretty cheap this weekend. I was thinking about maybe just going and check that game out, but we'll see. No promises there. That being said, I am going to take the Dolphins plus 4.5 as well. I'm kind of with you on. I just feel something like where they're going to play better and potentially win this game, but I'm not picking them to win. With all that being said, I am going to take the Chargers money line here. I'm going to take Dolphins plus 4.5. I think we'll have a tightly contested game, but I do think the Chargers will get out. I have a tough time seeing them lose this game. I think their defense will be better. With that being said, I am going to take the under 44.5 here, and that's a little bold considering Dolphins can score, but I think the Chargers, they've lost 2 games that they probably could have won. The Washington game, they're up 10-0. The Giants game was against the Giants, and their defense looks so good through 3 weeks. I refuse to believe that was just a fluke. It was against very good teams, so I like the Chargers to win this game. I like the Dolphins to cover, and I like this game to be relatively low scoring.
I like that one too, man. Chargers should win that game, but I don't know. It's just a weird time for both these teams to be meeting up in their season in Miami. All right, guys. New England Patriots versus the New Orleans Saints. Saints, yes, they got the win against the Giants, and yes, they're in New Orleans. And yes, their defense actually hasn't looked too bad this year, believe it or not. Almost like the Browns, top 15 defense. But the Patriots, and Tom called it since the beginning of the year, just no one saw this coming with the brand new head coach, one of our favorites, Vrabel coming back. Drake May playing good defense, special teams playing lights out. With that said, guys, obviously, that's both reasons why the Saints could cover, keep it close, especially being at home. But after beating the Bills, the undefeated Bills, I think the Patriots should be able to beat the Saints. So I'm going to take the Patriots to win. I think they can beat them by more than 3.5 if things go right. We'll see what happens. Stevenson better hang on to the ball. No more fumbles from him. And then as far as over under 45.5, man, I think. Oh, actually, no. We took the over in the Patriots-Bills game, and it went under. See, that's funny, because I was going to say, something's telling me maybe under in this one. So, guys, surprise under here. I'm going to take the under in the Saints-Patriots game. Maybe both defenses show up. What do you think, Tom?
I like it. Yeah, I like it. I'm going to take the Patriots minus 3.5. I picked them earlier before this year to be a playoff team, especially with their weak schedule. This is a part of their weak schedule with the Saints. Saints, you watched that Giants game last week, and the Giants come out and scored 2 touchdowns the first 2 drives. They fumbled the ball 3 times, threw 2 picks. I mean, despite all that, if it wasn't for an interception or a fumble return for a touchdown, Giants could have literally had a drive to win the game there at the end, right? So I'm not super high on the Saints despite that win. I'm not sitting here thinking they're going to come out and win 2 in a row for sure. Patriots could have a letdown after a big win in Buffalo, but I don't see it. I think Vrabel will have them ready to go. I think they'll win this game by more than 3.5. I'm going to take the under with you as well. I think this game is going to end up being like a 24-17 type of win, something like that for New England. And I'm taking New England money line, obviously.
New England money line. You heard it here, guys. All right, guys, ready for a real fun one? Seattle Seahawks versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Man, this game is crazy because who would have thought, a few weeks ago or even coming into the season that the Jaguars would be favorited here? Yeah, they are at home, though. And I know once you're at home, you automatically get like a point or two, I'm pretty sure, in football odds. But so maybe it's just a straight up pick 'em. I see here the money line. There is no favorite. You just have minus 108 versus minus 112. Very good game here, guys. Very good game. All right, before I pick it, and I don't know if Tom agrees with me, I think the Seahawks are the technically more talented team overall. They should be able to beat the Jaguars, but I will say I can see the Jaguars defense giving Sam Darnold a little bit of fits. So, what do you think here, Brandon? I think, oh man, this is so tough. I'm gonna go out here on a limb here, guys. I'm gonna say the Seahawks should win this game, but ready for this? I'm taking the Jaguars to win at home against the Seahawks. I think they win by more than 1.5, and I think the game goes under 47.5. That's how crazy I'm getting because both these defenses are pretty good. I know the Seahawks offense is a little more entertaining, but let's not sleep on the Seahawks defense. They're pretty talented as well. I know they were just in a shootout, but that was against the high-scoring Bucks. But my point is, I'm not going to take up too much time, is that if the Jaguars can beat the Seahawks this week, guys, they are officially for real. And they will be 5-1, if I'm not mistaken, which is incredible. Go Duval. What do you think?
Oh, man, listen, I like Jacksonville's organization. I always have. It's fun seeing that Chiefs win was awesome, right? It was great seeing them get to 4-1. You can make the argument that they've officially arrived because of that one.
That's true.
A little bit of a shorter week, though, because they played on Monday. I'm taking Seattle.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
This is a tough one, man. This is a tough one. Seattle's coming off a tough loss at home against Tampa. I think their defense will play a little bit better than it did. I still don't believe in Trevor Lawrence, man. I'm just not a Trevor Lawrence guy. And I think that's what's holding me up. And Jacksonville's defense is pretty legit, but they did also give up 28 points last week to Mahomes.
True.
Not that Darnold's better than him or anything. I'm just saying points can be scored. So I like Seattle plus 1.5 here on the road. I'm going to take the under 47.5 with you as well. And I'm going to take Seattle money line, the slight underdog here, but I'm going to take Seattle money line.
And guys, if you're, tailing Tom or feel the same way as him in those picks, call me crazy. At least you called me. Maybe the odds makers made this line because the world just saw the Jaguars beat the Chiefs. Now they think they can hook people in. You know what I mean? Oh, the Jaguars, slight favorites, like basically even money against the Seahawks. The Seahawks are a very talented team, guys, is what I'm saying, if you actually watch football. And can put up 30 points any week. So it's a dangerous team right there. Just saying.
For sure.
All right, guys, 4 p.m. slate of games starts with the Tennessee Titans, and I capitalized the T. They finally got a win. They are back to being the giant mighty Titans. Remember the Titans, baby. Versus the Las Vegas Raiders in Las Vegas, though, where the Raiders are actually favored by 3.5. Oh man, this game's weird. First of all, I'm gonna take over 41.5. Are the Raiders just gonna be putrid all year? You know what I mean? If there was ever a game for them to like get right, I think it's this week. So I think both these teams can somewhat put up at least 21, 22 points. I think it goes over 41.5. I actually think the Raiders win this one this week, guys. So I'm going to take the Raiders to beat the Titans at home. Do I think they beat them by more than 3.5? This isn't a cop-out because I'm going to give the Titans the plus 3.5. I think the Raiders win by 3 at home here, guys, because it's a pretty even matched up game here. I think the Raiders win by 3 at home, and it still goes over 41.5. At least that's my crazy take on it. What do you think, Tom?
Listen, the Raiders, man, they come out and they win in New England week 1, surprising a lot of people, and then it was 4 straight. They get the shit kicked out of them last week. Not good. Geno Smith's thrown, 9 picks in 5 games or something? Also not good. This is a get-right game to me. This is a game at home against arguably the worst team, one of the worst teams in the league in Tennessee. Raiders are too, but I think Tennessee's worse than them. I expect the Raiders to come back and after getting the doors blown off them to play much better at home. So I'm going to take the Raiders minus 3.5. I'm with you on the over. I think this one will eclipse the over for sure, 41.5. And then I'm taking the Raiders money line. I think they'll get a pretty comfortable win here.
Raiders money line, guys. All right, guys, moving on. Newly acquired Joe Flacco leads the Cincinnati Bengals and Jamar Chase against the Green Bay Packers, who I believe just came off a bye. Did they not? Or did they play? Yep. They did, right? All right, so Packers at home are minus 14 favorites against the, reeling Bengals. Guys, when I look at this game, and I was saying it to Tom a little bit before we started the video, I think Flacco's a little better than Browning, and Browning kind of was just throwing the ball to Jamar Chase last week and letting him do his thing, and it got them some points, at least somewhat kept them in the game. So I'm going to give the Bengals the plus 14. I know it's going to be a little tough for Flacco to learn the playbook that soon, and the Packers' defense isn't bad, but something's telling me plus 14. I feel like they can possibly cover that, maybe a little bit of a trap there. I think it goes over 44.5 because Bengals scored a little bit of points last week, and I think the Packers can very easily put up 22 to 24 points against the non-existent Bengals defense. And then as far as who I think wins, guys, obviously I kind of think the Packers should win this game at home against the Bengals. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, this is so interesting because this is the second time Flacco's playing the Packers within, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Remember, he beat them with the Browns.
Oh, did he?
Isn't that crazy?
That's
remember
crazy.
The Browns beat the Packers a few weeks ago. We picked them plus 8.5, right?
Holy,
remember that? And Flacco was the quarterback.
Dude,
he was the quarterback of that game.
That's, guys, listen, if you're a betting person, take that into consideration. That's crazy.
Right. So, with that being said, that could mean one of two things. Packers seen him already. They know what to expect. They're going to whoop his ass. Or
that's true.
Flacco might have the Packers' number, can play well. I'm going to side kind of in between. I think plus 14 is a little high to me. I'm going to take the Bengals plus 14. And I'm going to take the under 44.5 here. This is a weird game to me. I just don't think it's going to be as high scoring as maybe some think. But I am going to take the Packers money line. Seeing them at minus 1,050 makes me just want to bet against it because it's so ridiculous. But can't do that. Don't have it in me. So I'm going to take the Bengals spread plus 14, but the Packers money line ultimately.
All right, Tom. I'll let you go first on this one because... I'll let you go first on this one. The San Francisco 49ers at the Tampa Bay Bucks. What's your honest take on this one, brother?
Oh, man. Well, listen. Did I ever hear it from Niner Gang last week after I looked at their injury report, saw them playing the Rams on the road, although technically it's a Niners home game, should know better. And I heard it because they came out and Mac Jones was great, and Shanahan just did his thing, calling plays, and McCaffrey was good, and they win that game. And here I am again, ready to get Niner gang coming after me, guys. I'm sorry, but I'm taking Tampa. I'm taking Tampa at home. I think they're one of the best teams in the league. They're finding ways to win despite injuries and different people being in and out of the lineup and O-line issues and all that good stuff. I'm a big Tampa fan, so I'm taking the Bucs here at home. I'm taking them -3, and I'm going to go ahead and take the over 47.5.
Dude, I love what you just said, man. But you know what, guys? Listen, before I make my pick, that Niners defense was scary last week. They let the Rams score at will when, once they saw, holy crap, we're down 14 right now. We're down 17. The Rams just scored very easily, and that's going to be pretty scary against the Buccaneers offense, who's putting up points so far this year. With that said, guys, and I haven't done this since, the beginning of the first ever of our NFL picks, I don't even have to think about it. Niners win over 47.5, Niners +3, because I got to do it. Going with the Niners. With that said, and if you watch our videos, you know how high me and Rhea are on the Bucs. And you know what? Last week, they finally lived up to that potential, even without Evans. Buccaneers are a talented team, have a great head coach, and, can go as far as, they truly put their minds to. With that said, the Niners pulled some magic out of a hat last week, and Mac Jones was just playing incredible on one foot, playing pretty good. The whole team kind of stepped up, and I think we kind of touched on that last week when we were making our picks. But as a Niners fan, I'm going with the Niners to win against the Bucs. Going to be an interesting game. I do kind of like the over because that Niners defense was scaring me last week, and both teams can put up 21 to 24 points. Sunday night football game is the Detroit Lions at the Kansas City Chiefs. And guys, guess what? They have the Detroit Lions as underdogs. Woo-hoo! And I know a few of their games recently were easy, but the Lions have been playing pretty hot since week 2. And the Chiefs, are 2-3. And I've been saying it all year, guys, just haven't looked too hot. They really haven't. So this is going to be a tough task for them, having the Detroit Lions coming in rolling. With that said, Chiefs have been putting up more points in recent weeks. All right, this is my take on it. Chiefs have been putting up more points in recent weeks. Lions can score. Oh, do I think it goes over 52.5? I think this is a game where if they are going to have a chance, the Chiefs defense is going to have to step up a little bit. So I think even if it ends at 48, I don't know if it goes over 52.5. And I might be completely wrong in this, but it's just my take. I'm going to take the under 52.5. And guys, I like what I've seen from the Lions so far this year. I'm not a huge fan of what I've seen so far from the Chiefs. So I'm actually going to take the Lions to win as underdogs on the road, which I personally don't think they should be underdogs. And since the Lions are getting 2.5 points, what are they, 4-1? No.
That's 4-1, yeah. They lost the first game against Green Bay, and they've won every game since.
When a 4-1 team is getting 2.5 points on the road against a team that has all too good.
I shake my head, man. I shake my head at that. It's crazy.
I kind of have to roll the dice with a 4-1 team getting 2.5 on the road. But then again, guys, I was talking to Tom about this. I think we picked the Ravens to beat the Chiefs and the Lions to beat the Ravens, and both of those lost, and I was pretty confident about it. With that said, this week I really do feel good about the Lions beating the Chiefs. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, like I said, I shook my head as soon as I saw this. I shook my head when you were going through the numbers and stuff. I get it. It's the Chiefs, all of that. They've looked a little bit better in the coming weeks, but the Lions, I think, are the best team in the NFL, if not top 3. So I'm absolutely taking the Lions +2.5, even if it is on the road. And I wouldn't be shocked if they lost. Nobody would, right? They're playing the Chiefs, but I think they should have been favored. It's an interesting line to me. The over 52.5 is tough because both teams can definitely score. Lions can score with anybody, and Chiefs are capable of scoring. So I'm going to take this over here, 52.5, and I'm going to take the Lions as underdogs on the road to win this game. I think this is going to be a high-scoring one. I'm feeling somewhere in the 35-28 type of range. Lions win, but I think the Lions are definitely going to get somewhere around 30 points here. So I expect the Chiefs to put up at least low to mid-20s to make the spread cover.
That's it. Nevertheless, a fun game, and I'm glad it's on Sunday night. All right, guys. Monday Night Football is Buffalo Bills at Atlanta Falcons. I think the Bills with the 1 day extra rest, as Tom likes to point out, which is pretty cool, can beat the Falcons, even though they're coming off a bye. But come on, guys, it's the Bills, and they kind of let the game against the Patriots get out of their hands. Even though Patriots are a great team, I think the Bills can beat the Falcons on the road. I think they beat them by more than 4.5. Even though I wouldn't be surprised if Falcons cover that, but I am confident that the Bills win. As far as over under 49.5, I'm gonna say under in that one. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends at like 42. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, that's. Wait, did you take Bills money line? Took the money line? You did, right? Okay. Yeah, I think the Bills bounce back. Their defense worries me, though. Their defense does worry me. I don't think their defense is that great. So here's what I got. I'm going to take the Falcons plus 4.5. I'm going to take the Bills money line, and I'm going to take the or in this game. I think there will be some points scored here, and I think this one will be a little bit fun. But I'm going to take the Bills to win a close one on the road in Atlanta.
All right, man. All right, guys. And then there's another Monday Night Football game this week. We didn't forget about it. Chicago Bears at the Washington Commanders. Go ahead, Tom. What do you think, brother?
Yeah, Bears coming off a bye. On the road, a game member last year that was down to the wire, and Washington won on the Hail Mary.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that one? Yep.
I'm glad you brought it back up.
Interesting flashback a year later, but I'm going to take Washington minus 4.5. They looked obviously better with Daniels. Their defense looked better too, although the Chargers offense hasn't looked great the last few weeks, but that was a big win for them on the road. So they're 3-2. I like them at this home spot here on Monday night. I'm going to take Washington minus 4.5. I'm going to take the under here, though. I do think this one will be relatively lower scoring, at least not 50 points. And I'm going to take Washington money line. What are you feeling?
Guys, I know our picks this week weren't like too crazy juicy, not too many underdogs or insane picks, but this might be one of them. I like the Bears coming off the bye. Maybe they game plan for them. With that said, I feel like I've picked against the Commanders a lot recently, and they've won a lot, even since the Daniels injury. But I think the Bears actually win this game, so I'm going to give them the 4.5. I think they get revenge for the Hail Mary game, and they win by... No, I'm not going to say win by Hail Mary, but I think the Bears beat the Commanders somehow coming out of the bye if Caleb Williams plays good. Shout out to Commanders, though. They've been doing their thing. Bears win. Bears getting the 4.5. As far as over under 49.5, yeah, you're right. That's a little bit high. You know what? Just because it's crazy, I'm going to take over 49.5, but I really don't have rhyme or reason for that one. All right, guys, before we end, we have our confident picks of the week. Mr. Tom is going with the Patriots money line. Where they at? Right here. Patriots money line against the Saints. The Bucks money line. Where they at?
Yes,
I'll find them. Where the heck are they? Oh, sorry. You're right. Bucks money line against the Niners. And then the Lions getting 2.5 points right here against the Chiefs. I like that one a lot. Guys, I like the Cardinals-Colts game to go over. I kind of like the Lions plus 2.5 too. I don't think we've ever had the same confident picks, but I really do like that one. And then I also like the Bengals-Packers to go over. Where's that? I know that one's over here somewhere. Right here. Bengals-Packers game to go over. You heard it here, guys. B-Buck, Tom Ria Sports signing out. NFL Week 6 picks. Good luck to all of you guys and all of your teams. I hope you have a safe and enjoyable and fun weekend. Anything to say to the viewers, Tom, before we cut out?
Listen, guys. Listen, always. Bet with your head, not over your head. Have fun. Enjoy the week. Good luck, everybody.
Thank you so much. See you again next week.
Like, comment, subscribe. Tell us you love us. Tell us you hate us. We want to hear it all. Peace.